If you're the kind of person who's good at a bunch of different things and you work in a large corporation, you're going to see a lot of things that you could do, a lot of projects that you could do. You're going to be asked to do a bunch of projects that are a little bit outside of what you were hired for and what your box is, your realm is. My advice, you can do whatever you want, but typically volunteering for project after project will get you into a lot of trouble. More trouble than it's worth. If you like doing those projects and you're not really worried about compensation or worried about moving up or something, fine, do all the projects you want. But it's typically not going to help you get promoted, not going to help you get a raise. It often detracts from your performance review. And I'll tell you why in this video. So, this is for people who are working at the big corporation, complex organization, thousands of people working there, right? This isn't for general contractors. This isn't for people working in construction or in a startup or a sole proprietor. In those situations, being a person with many hats is super helpful. Super helpful. If you're in construction, as I was in my teens and 20s, you look at something and you're like, hey, I got to fix that. And you go and fix that. That's appreciated. Same with a small business and same with a startup. They don't have all the processes in place. They don't have all the boxes in place and the organization designed to do what it's meant to do. These are simple organizations and you can do that. I'm talking about big corporate life, big companies, say over 1,000, 10,000 employees, that sort of corporation. Because in that, every box that you're in is designed to make the whole organism work. And granted, it's a complex organism. You don't want people, going and doing different things that they weren't hired for. Even though you might say it, even though the manager might want you to do it. The corporation does not, right? It's like a complex organization, like your human body, right? The red blood cell is a red blood cell. They do what red blood cells do. If all of a sudden a red blood cell wakes up one day and is like, oh, gee, I'm going to fight off a virus, like a white blood cell. Nobody's going to like that, and you will probably not survive the effort. Same thing with a large corporation. Do what you are hired to do. That is your box. That box was designed for you. That's what you're doing. Is that boring? Yes. But it might free you up if you have the kind of mind that can think about multiple things. Typically, you can get that job done in a couple hours a day. Okay? So use that to your advantage in whatever way you want to use the extra time and do other things. Most corporate jobs are easy. Okay, so especially if you're gifted, you're intelligent, you have multiple talents, most corporate jobs, easy. You could finish them in 2 hours a day, really. And the rest is networking. The rest is like making people think that you're busy and so on. Now, not always, or meetings. Oh my God. So many meetings for no reason. No reason. If you're just given the ability to make decisions, you don't need meetings. That's a whole other video. Volunteering for other things, you don't want to do it. You really don't. I'll let you know why. First of all, you might think that this helps performance review. You might think like, I'm going to be the go-getter. I'm going to be the guy or woman or gal who goes out and says, yes, sir, I'm going to do that project. Oh, hey, there's something that'll really help the company. Now, in your performance review, whether it's biannually, every 6 months or every year or so, people aren't going to look at 15 different projects that you did in the last period. They don't care. You might have depending on the company, you probably have a performance review committee, you might have a promotion committee, whatever. And these guys have about 30 seconds to think about you, maybe a minute. Really. And then the rest of the time, they're thinking about promoting their own people. They're thinking about their own promotion. They're thinking about writing reviews. They don't care. And I've been a manager for all kinds of groups, big, small, whatever. They don't care. They are not going to look at the 20 wonderful projects, even if they are amazing projects, even if they are like game-changing projects. You get to 3 of them in one of these committee meetings, everybody shuts off. Everybody. And it doesn't matter if it's a year, if it's 6 months, everybody shuts off. So you're looking at 3. 3 big accomplishments that you need to show at the end of that performance review, and that you need to say that you can translate super easily to your manager, who has 7, 10 other direct reports that they gotta fight for a promotion. And there are 3 things that manager needs to be able to articulate what you did, your impact, and boom, 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 amazing person. 3 things. If you have 20, they can be outrageously interesting projects. They could have increased EBITDA at the company by 30%. All 20 of them. They're going to get to 3 of them. They're not going to go through 20 projects for the past year. You might think they do. They might tell you they do. They don't. They don't at all. I'm telling you, it's a waste of time. Now, that said, if you like doing these projects, and you're like, I don't care about, compensate. I don't care about these other things. Great, good, go, do the projects. But you're likely not going to get it, reflected positively on your performance review. What it's going to come over as is, oh my God, this guy's got like a ton of projects. They can't possibly be meaningful because he's done 20. Everybody else does 3, maybe 4. And this guy's done 20, they gotta be little projects because nobody is able to do 20 meaningful projects. But if you're smart, if you're capable, if you actually are cut above the rest of the, whatever you call them, midwits, corporate drones, NPCs, whatever. If you're cut above that, you absolutely can do 10 projects, 20 projects during that time that are very meaningful. Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody is going to believe you. So, right there. If you like doing them, great. But if you're hoping to get, why? So many people I speak to are like, I've done so many projects. I've been volunteering for all kinds of things. Why am I not getting promoted? Maybe because you're volunteering for too many projects. Focus on 3. 3 projects that are so easy to explain. Say, this is what the person did, right? This is the formula. It's so easy. Just turn your brain off for a sec. This is what they did. This is the impact. And boom. That's it. 3 of them. That's all you need. And then write them up for your manager. This is what I did. This was the project. And what I did is the impact. Boom. That's it. That's it. 3 of them. So, that's the first one. You're not going to get promoted by 20 amazing projects. Even if they are amazing, nobody's going to believe you. Second, if you start volunteering for other projects and in other people's domains, well, people will be welcoming. They'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, that sounds like a good idea. You can help me in finance or even though you are in customer service. Sure, okay, yeah, run that project. They will resent you for it. Now, think about their point of view. Most people in large companies did not start out in construction. They did not start out in small businesses. They did not start out in a startup, right, where everybody's jostling, trying to just get things done. They came right out of college with whatever degree they got, socioeconomic history of the kangaroo, whatever it is, and they went right into corporate America or corporate Europe or corporate Asia. And they're like, hey, give me my job. And they get their box, they get their cubicle, they sit down, and that is their world. They cannot think outside the box because they don't even know they're in a box. They don't even know there's a box. They can say the words, we got to think out of the box. We got to get that. They don't even know they're in a box. So their whole world is right there. And I don't want to belittle people in corporations. There are plenty of smart people in corporations. That's not the point, right? But generally, they're maximizing the strategy of doing their cog work. They're being the red blood cell. And if you come in, even if you're super smart, especially if you're super smart and super capable, and you have all these credentials, they are going to be worried about you because they know for sure they're not doing their job as efficiently as they could. They know it. Everybody is. And it's not necessarily their fault. Sometimes it is. But they know in their heart of hearts, whoa, 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 whoa. This guy or gal comes in and talks with me and starts digging into my domain, my box that's not a box, and they're going to find all these skeletons. They're going to find that I've been working just a few hours a day. They're going to find out that I'm not as efficient as my manager's saying that I am. And they will not like that. I'm telling you. They will smile to your face. Say, sure, yeah, oh yeah, I'd love to help. But they will not be happy. So there's all kinds of things that can lead to, right? They start up talking with other people about, oh, I don't know about that guy, he's, a little bit weird. They might be defensive, they might be passive aggressive. That happens a lot. Like, hey, I'd really like some data for blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll get you that data. A week goes by, hey, do you have that data? Oh, you know what? Yeah, sure, I get you that data, right? And 2 months later, your project is hamstrung. Your project is dead that you just promised your manager you would do because that person is not giving you the data or the work or the whatever that you are asking for. And at that point, can you go to your manager and be like, hey, you remember that project that I signed up for and said was gonna take a couple weeks of just some analysis? Well, it's 3 months later, and I don't have the data from that person, and this person's taking too long to give me stuff, and I can't do that, and the sun was in my eyes, and I tripped on my shoelace, and no. That's all they're gonna hear is just excuses. Hey, he never asked you to do it. Maybe he did. You can always say no. I'll get to that. But if you're volunteering, if you're like, hey, I'm going to go do this, it's only downside risk. You're not asked to do it, especially if you're not asked to do it. You got downside because now, okay, you've signed up for a project, and if that project doesn't go swimmingly, guess what? That's not one of your top 3. That's not one of the things that you can put on your performance review and be like, look at what I did. No, you'd be like, hey, Sally in finance isn't giving me the data. You can't say that, right? So even if the project goes amazingly, right, and you're doing this cross-functional project and you've got everybody motivated, this happens. This for sure happens. You're out of your box. You're out of your box. You're being evaluated on how well you do your box things. You're not being evaluated, typically. They might say you are. You're not. You're not being evaluated on what you can do for Sally's organization. Nobody cares. There's no checklist for that. So they're like, oh yeah, think about performance review time, right? Everybody gets so nervous about performance review. It's easy. You got 3 things, maybe 5. 3 things that are like knock out of the park. Anything after that, nobody has an idea. Even at Google, Microsoft, at whatever. If you're a cog, an executive, or whatever, you got 3 things, big things. Focus on those. And if you're like, your manager, think about your manager's perspective, right? He or she's going into the performance review, and you got 15 projects. They're like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like how do I get this into 30 seconds? They can't. Be like, oh, well, he revamped the finance department. But why'd he do that? He's in customer service. Oh, well, he liked it. It improved finance. Why'd he do that? This is the customer service performance review, right? What's his ticket volume? What's his, that's the metrics that they care about. So, okay. Look, don't volunteer for extra work. Just don't do it. Just put it out and don't be the one running around and being like, this and that. How do I know? Because I was that guy for years. Still am that guy kind of, right? I personally like working on multiple things. I like, going into other places where I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I can get some insight. I have some insight from other domains that I can apply to that. And at a consulting company like BCG, I worked at for like 4 years, that actually kind of sort of works. There's still the box, but it's a little broader, right? At startups, that works. In construction, that works, right? Small businesses, great. At a large corporation, you end up with 20 amazing projects and nobody cares. There are 3 that they focus on, and those 3, like if there's 20, you're not going to get 3 like knock them out of the park projects that people can talk about. Even if they're knock it out of the park, even if they're amazing, you're not going to get it because they can't focus on those 3. They got 20, and they're like, they don't know what to do. So don't go running around volunteering. If your manager asks you to do stuff, okay? So this is a common thing. Your manager asks you to do, something that's outside your domain. You can say no. You can say, oh, I'm a bit packed with my 3 projects that I'm working on. I don't have bandwidth for the rest. Now you have to make a decision about what your manager is going to say about that and so on. You won't get fired. You're still doing what you're brought in to do. And if this is extra work, you need to think about it very seriously if this is going to lead to one of those 3 projects. If it is, great. Take it on and swap out something else that you thought was one of the top 3. If it's not, if it's number 4 or number 7 or number 20, no thanks, I'm full. That's fully valid. Because part of the problem is that if you keep saying yes to all these crazy projects that your manager comes up with or this, everybody's going to start asking you for doing stuff. Everybody. And you're going to end up saying, oh, yeah, sure. Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. That sounds great. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I did that in a high school, science class or math, whatever. And you end up with 20 projects or 5 or 10, whatever, too many. And there's only downside. If any one of them slips, if they all go amazingly, nobody cares because they're focusing on 3. But if any one of them slips, guess what? This like friendly, like, oh yeah, no problem, come and help us. That's going to end in a second because they know that they can now throw you under the bus. That's how it works. That's how it works. So if you are, highly above average in intelligence, I don't care about IQ, but if you see that you can do all of these things, and you can do multiple domains, and but it's all pretty easy. It is. This is not going to help you. This is, and it's often confusing for people like that have these, that have higher ability, because they think they're helping. They think, well, yeah, sure, it's help. And I have fallen into this as well. You think, oh yeah, I'm helping everybody out. They don't want your help. They don't want your help. You stick to your 3 things, be a red blood cell. I know it's boring, but if you want some more, if you want to wear different hats, start a company, join a startup, join a small business. They pay less typically, but you're able to get a little bit more satisfaction from multiple roles and multiple jobs. So I hope this helps, and I hope you're having a great day. I'd love to hear your comments. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Really happy to see the community growing here. And I hope you're having a fantastic day, no matter what projects you're working on. You're making decisions for yourself, and you're realizing the consequences. And I hope that you're just enjoying life. So, till the next one, talk to you then. Bye.